The story began in 1951 in North Dakota, where Al was born to Leonard and Eleanor Harris, the first of 4 boys. It wasn't obvious at the time, but looking back, there were subtle hints that Al was destined for a career in radio broadcasting. At the age of 5, his dad took him to visit a radio station in Minot, KLPN. At a young age, Al began to play radio DJ with a record player, his parents' 45s, a small thermometer pinned to the curtain, and a small clock in the corner. Al's father worked in highway construction, and their home was wherever the job was. By the time he graduated from Sheridan High, he had attended 22 schools. Looking back, he says it was a marvelous education, and as testimony to the experience, Al was an honor student. It was in high school when Al got his first 9-volt transistor radio, and after school would listen to KOOK in Billings, and at night it was the top 40 powerhouse, 1520 KOMA, Oklahoma City. He landed in front of a real microphone his senior year. He was asked to do a week on the teen show that aired every afternoon on KWYO. A week turned into the entire school year and then a summer job. At KWYO, he worked with Wyoming Hall of Famers Bob Wilson and Ken Keating. In the fall, Al went to the University of Wyoming, where he used his experience to get part-time work at Laramie's giant station, 500-watt KLME, and also at the student-run KUWR. He earned the Achievement Award that year for doing the first Wyoming Cowboy basketball games, home and away, on KUWR. He also brought in the first public underwriting to pay for phone lines for the road game. Another Hall of Famer, Bill Sims, bought KLME and transformed it into KOJO and Laramie's first FM, KIOZ. During the summer, Al worked the 7 to midnight shift, and during the day worked highway construction to pay for school. During the school year, he kept his evening shift and added a morning show from 5 to 7 so he could attend classes. In 1973, Al graduated with a degree in accounting, passed the CPA exam, and took a job with Arthur Anderson and Company in Denver. But radio was his passion, and within a year he returned to work for Sims in Laramie as the news and sports director. This is where the story nearly ended. It was the morning of July 10th, 1975, when a natural gas explosion leveled the radio station. Al and morning man Wayne Deal received second-degree burns and were hospitalized. Later that morning, from his hospital bed, with a nurse holding the phone, Al relayed the news events to Pete Williams at KTWO.
About 6:40 this morning, somewhere in that vicinity, there was a big commotion, and it didn't really sound like an explosion. It was more as if someone was banging on something. And then literally the roof caved in, and there was what appeared to be a flash. And there was 2 of us in the station. Both of us then fought our way out, because by this time all the roof was down. And got out and turned around, took a look at the situation, and there's not much standing now.
What was the extent of your injuries, Al?
I don't know how they classify these burns or anything. I've got face and head burns and burns to my hands and arms. I was the lucky one of the 2. The other guy in the station has got burns to his stomach and to his back.
So, from the way you recall it, Coach was pretty much a total loss.
No question about it. We are no more at this point.
The following year, at the age of 24, Al moved to Green River to build and become the general manager of KUGR for Sims. Al became part owner in 1978 and soon purchased the entire operation. In 1985, Al and Faith were married and began raising a wonderful family of 3 children, and now enjoy the blessings of 3 grandsons. For Al and Faith, it was more than a marriage. It was the beginning of a working partnership. They worked side by side every day for over 20 years, including a daily radio show that the 2 of them host.
We went to another auction yesterday, too, at
Yeah,
the
we did. At
UCC Church. I bought a babysitter.
I told everybody there she was pregnant.
He did. Oh, gosh. But, of course, people think I'm 30, so why not?
She's buying at the silent auction babysitting services, and people are looking at her. So I'm going around whispering, "Don't tell anybody, but she's pregnant."
They didn't believe him.
Well, no.
And no, I'm not.
I think the reason they didn't believe me is because, when you heard me say that, they looked over and you were over there slitting your wrist.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, that'd be terrible at 52. Help me. Wouldn't it? I bought it from Maxi. That's a cool item.
It is.
It was a silent auction item, a 3-hour babysitter.
Yeah, cool dude. That was her donation.
Yeah,
Neat
I
idea.
thought that was pretty cool. Teenage girl did that.
Yep.
So,
Exactly. So now
we're not pregnant. We're not having twins or 14 babies or anything.
By the end of the week, the word on the street is going to be that we're having twins.
Or we're getting a divorce. I don't know which.
That was last week.
That was last week.
This week we're having twins. I have no idea. Well,
Oh,
I
we have
wish
an
I-
exciting life.
I wonder who I can call to find out what I'm doing in 2 weeks.
In 1986, Al and Faith expanded the business with the addition of Faith Broadcasting and KYCS-FM. Growth was slow but steady, and in 1995, a new from-the-ground-up studio was constructed in Green River. A third station was added in 1998, KFRZ-FM, The Freeze, and then a fourth, KZWB-FM, The Big Dog, in 2005. And so became the radio network. Al has done news, sports, play-by-play, a morning show, a talk show, sales, and engineering. He has interviewed every governor, senator, and member of Congress since Stan Hathaway, Cliff Hansen, Gail McGee, and Tino Roncalio. Al has always been involved with the industry. He served as the president of the WAB in 1984, and then was elected to 4 terms on the board of directors of the NAB, more than any other Wyoming broadcaster. In 2004, he was elected to the executive committee of the NAB, a seat no one from Montana, Idaho, Wyoming district has ever held. He remains active in NAB committee work and legislative issues. Al's stations have won many awards over the years for news, sports, play-by-play, and his personal favorite, Editorial of the Year. Community service awards include being named a finalist for the NAB Crystal Award. Like so many broadcasters in Wyoming, Al spent countless hours working for the community. He is the recipient of Green River's Distinguished Service Award, the Outstanding Citizen Award, Media Advocate Award, Cornerstone Business Award, and just this year, he was given the key to the city for his community contributions. Al served 30 years in the fire service, retiring as the fire prevention chief and the highest-ranking volunteer member of the Green River Fire Department. During that time, he responded to over 4,500 calls, including highway accidents, water rescues, mountain climbing rescues, and the Yellowstone fires. He was the public information officer, worked with juvenile fire setters, did fire prevention programs, was a certified state instructor, investigated fires, and started the Fire Department Foundation program. He was also the public information officer for emergency management, and as a private pilot flew many search and rescue missions in Sweetwater County. Al has spent over 20 years on various water boards and still sits on the board of directors for the Colorado River Basin and on the Upper Green River Basin Board. And he spent 10 years teaching accounting at Western Wyoming College. Al helped organize and is a charter member of the Green River Ambassador Group, the Hole in the Wall Gang. He also was involved in organizing Flaming Gorge Days, a summer celebration in Green River that is now over 30 years old. And Al and Faith were honored by being named Grand Marshals for the parade. He MCs numerous events throughout the year. He introduces most of the performing artists that come to Sweetwater County each summer, highlighted by a rare signed book from the late Chris Ledoux. a round of golf with Trace Adkins, and a motorcycle ride with Keith Urban. He served on the committee for the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Sweetwater chapter, for 10 years. At one time, the largest chapter in the country. He's emceed banquets in Rock Springs, Sheridan, Jackson, Casper, Saratoga, and the National Convention in Portland. And then there was the literal 15 minutes of fame when Al was featured on the CBS television show, A Day in the Life, a program about the day of a small market broadcaster.
It's 7 o'clock in the Mountain West. You're tuned to Info Station Cougar KUGR, Green River, Rock Springs. Time now for news from the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Some people would look at a small market station like this and say, but you got to do it all. And I look at it and compare it to the guys in the larger market, and I say, I get to do it all.
Small market radio. In a land that some say time forgot, the Wild West of Wyoming. The tiny town of Green River, population 12,000, supports a rare breed, a mom-and-pop radio station operation run by Al and Faith Harris.
Good morning, Broadcast House. Al and I like to be together. We enjoy each other's company. We do have friction once in a while over certain things, but generally, 9 times out of 10, we get along really well.
But for Al, it's all about radio. He still does the morning show, the Al and Faith show with his wife, a talk show, repairs equipment, fixes transmitters, and climbs towers. Al will tell you that it has been a marvelous, even dreamlike career in radio that could only be topped by tonight's recognition.
I got the greatest job in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame, Mr. Al Harris.